Our final speaker for you today is Nigel Costley, the Regional Secretary of the TUC. Nigel.
Thank you very much, and it's great to be here, and congratulations to everyone who organised this day. It is fabulous in Somerset here in Wales. We are marking the International Workers' Day, May Day. This is a year of anniversaries, and we do enjoy our special day. The international bit is important, and it's great to see banners proclaiming peace and welcome to refugees here in Wales. And I think we need to remind ourselves about the international cause of May Day. We do like our special days. Today is also International Midwives Day. And the list that Dave read out, one of our more recent affiliates, great new member of the TUC family, is the Royal College of Midwives. So good luck to them on this day. Anniversaries, of course, the key one must be the 100th year since the Representation of the People Act. The suffragette movement won its victory, albeit partial, but women for the first time got the vote 100 years ago. And it's good to remember their struggle that went on, still goes on. And democracy is not just about the ballot, voting once every 5 years or so. And we've got to, although that's important, we've got to make sure particularly young people vote. The cartoon yesterday, after the local elections, the councillor saying, I'd like to represent everybody in my ward, not just the 12 people who voted for me. Young people need to register to vote, because come the next general election, they could win it for Labour. The Tory vote is literally dying out. We are winning young people to a more radical cause, but we've got to make sure they vote. But it isn't just voting, it's about the active participation that we play in our communities, in our voluntary societies, our neighbourhoods, and of course in our trade unions. And the other anniversary is the TUC's 150th year that we'll be marking in June, when the first TUC was called. And of course, trade unionism, democracy doesn't stop at the office door, the factory gate, or even at the iPad these days. It is important that working people have a voice, have respect, dignity in the workplace, and we need to convince young people that the need for collective action is all important, because certainly we need it like never before. We've seen since 2010 a real squeeze on wages, that people here in Somerset in real terms are losing £50 a week. We are seeing in the southwest 1 in 8 people now regularly skipping meals in order to survive. And on Monday we're releasing a new report that shows child poverty in the southwest has risen by 48% since 2010. It is a disgrace, and it's because of the squeeze in wages, it's because of the cuts in public services that our economy is doing so badly. While the world economy is doing relatively well, Britain is now languishing at the bottom. And the last quarter saw the worst growth performance in 25 years. I don't want to predict another slump, but it could easily happen with Brexit as a flight of capital is leaving Britain. We are seeing a massive turnaround in investment. So we need powerful trade unions speaking up for people at work, representing working people. But of course, trade unions do more than just the workplace. And there are other anniversaries taking place this year. First one, of course, is the Windrush generation, who arrived here on our invitations to help build our public services. And I'll close with the other anniversary in July, the 70th birthday of the founding of the National Health Service. Yes. It's not disconnected. Trade unionism, solidarity goes beyond the workplace and was fundamental to the welfare state and the NHS. And it is just because we built it, it's the same ideological reasons that the Tories are now trying to dismantle it. So we've got to come together like never before to defend the NHS, to recruit young workers into trade unions, like in McDonald's, like TGI Fridays have been on strike this week, to get decent fair treatment. We've got to build, and May Day is our day, and here in Wales we can send out that message. Solidarity works. And so let's come together on days like this. Let's mark our anniversaries, but look to the future, which I think is much more optimistic than they would have us believe. They've tried to outlaw trade unions, do us down, tell us that we're irrelevant and not needed anymore. We know the opposite is the case. And I believe just as working people surprised us in the past, as Dave described, young people coming together collectively will surprise us again, and we will see another renaissance of collective action and trade unionism. Thank you very much, and thank you for this great day.
Thank you, Nigel.